citizens of Fanatic Universe and Reeniac Land, welcome back to your favorite joint meeting spot, Sick and Serving.
We are going to be doing a lyric breakdown of my biggest song to date, Me Attacking Me. Da da da. It is the song that introduced me to quite literally so many of y'all. I'm pretty sure before this song, I maybe had like 800 monthly listeners. I think it was like something like that, maybe like 1,000 monthly listeners. I don't know, but it was like I really did not have like a lot of traction around my music at all. And then like y'all found this song, and here we are. And I'm so grateful to continue to grow with each and every one of you guys. Y'all mean the absolute world to me. And I love being besties with y'all, and I love seeing our little Fanatic Land grow every single day. But I know that I have done a cutesy little lyric breakdown on some of my lives before of Me Attacking Me, but I feel like we should just have it documented for everyone to see whenever they feel like having a little lyric breakdown moment for this song. So we're bringing it to the Sick and Serving podcast. Also, for anyone that is new here, and is like, who the fuck is Haley Faye Rosenthal and Renee K? So
How on earth did you guys find us? Because there's no way that you found randomly.
I just want to cover all the bases quickly, like before hopping right into this song. We are both chronically ill artists. That is define us, but you know, it is a part of our lives and a part of our shared experiences with, which is actually like how we became so close because we were able to bond over this. And Renee was lovely enough to be willing to be one of my co-writers on the My Ghost EP.
Was honored.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, so Me Attacking Me is a song about my experience as a chronically ill woman who has a quote unquote invisible illness in a society driven by ableism. And this is my personal experience of what it's like to just live in this society. And when I wrote the song with my friend Olivia Francis, and another incredible artist who
all the time on here. We're gonna have her on at some point.
yes. And she also has a chronic illness. So this song, and also the entirety of the My Ghost EP was written by me and a bunch of chronically ill artists. Because I am a firm believer that you cannot write about an experience like this without truly having lived it. Because it is such a unique experience. And I wanted to stay true to how it really feels, if that makes sense. So it was very important to me to only have chronically ill artists on this project. Besides like the producer and the mastering engineer, all that stuff, because like, you know, you can't win. But
you can't win them all.
You can't win them all. But my producer, mixing, mastering engineers, everyone, they're all absolutely love them.
How dare you, Malcolm, be a healthy individual? How dare you?
Malcolm. Y'all know what I mean. So now going back to this song. So now let's go into verse 1, shall we? Da da da. So it was mental woes and doctor's lows. So another backstory about this. I'm going to backtrack and then we're going to go into verse 1. So I got my chronic illness, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, toxic epidural necrolysis, SJS10 from malpractice. Yay!
Yeah.
And the fun fact about verse 1 is I actually had to send this to my lawyer because I had to make sure that I couldn't get countersued. So
Kendrick Lamar, you know they love to sue.
You know they love to sue. You know they love to see it fucking coming. But I actually had to rewrite these lyrics multiple times. And we landed on this, and I actually cannot show you the original lyrics. Because I had to rewrite them. Truly. My lawyer said, Haley, you might want to think about this one. So
Guys, that was real.
that in mind with this. So we let's go back to verse 1. It was mental woes and doctor's lows. This person was a psychiatrist. And it was my mental woes, and it was this person's lows. It was this Dr. Bell. So misdiagnosed, overdosed. This person misdiagnosed me, and overdosed me on a medicine. Like they gave me like an adult dosage of a medicine when I was like 16 years old. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And then it was real dry skin and excusing it for being winter. So when this happened, this was so I had gotten the prescription, I think it was like the second to last week of December. And then I started getting like very sick within the first couple weeks of January. And so like it was still winter and I was like not feeling great, but it wasn't like anything out of the ordinary yet. Like it was like, little dry skin here and there, maybe like a little sore throat, but like, stuff like that's going to happen in the winter a lot of the time. So I was like gaslighting myself into thinking that it wasn't anything severe because also at this time I went from being like very, very, very healthy and like having like a fairly normal childhood to like doing a complete 180 out of fucking nowhere with this and now having the side effects affect me for the rest of my life. And like literally like I was dying in an ICU burn unit with this shit. So it was just like a super crazy time, but that line is just signifying that I was gaslighting myself into just like not thinking it was as severe as it ended up being.
If you don't mind, I'd love to tail off of that because I think that's just, I know we have so many people part of the chronic illness community that follow us. And I think it's such a shared experience where it's not even just doctors that gaslight you, it's yourself. Like, the amount of times that you just try to tell yourself it's not that bad because facing the news and like the truth is just so much harder.
Absolutely, yes. And also, like, I don't know if this is like a shared experience as well. I hope it is. I hope I don't sound when I say this. That'd be really awkward. But like for me, I always get fucking terrified whenever like I start Googling a symptom that I have. And because like, when you Google something, it is always the worst possible case scenario that pops up. Like, oh my God, the other day I had like an itch or something and I was like Googling that and they were like, well, it could be this or it could be cancer. And I was like,
It's always that or cancer. Dude, the amount of times I've thought I've had a brain tumor, and I have been tested for them before because I do have chronic migraines. That's not my chronic illness. Well, it's part of it, but it's a separate thing. My main chronic illness is not chronic migraines, but I do get them. And the amount of times I've convinced myself that I have brain cancer is crazy. Googling symptoms is like the worst thing you can do for your mental health.
it truly is. But like for me, like because I just like I hate Googling the symptoms and everything because I know the worst possible case scenario is gonna pop up. I will just like gaslight myself constantly into thinking like, oh, really, I'm fine. I'm fine. And also like now as someone with a chronic illness, I'm like constantly living in pain. And so like if my pain levels are just like a little bit more severe, if it was an able-bodied person living with like the pain, they would be in the hospital every single day. But for me, I'm just like, it's only like a 7 out of 10 pain day for me. Like
Exactly.
that's
No, that's so true, dude. Like, I mean, genuinely, I'll have like the most like, for people who don't know, I have chronic urticaria, which basically means I have like it's caused by different things for different people. For me, I have allergic the best way I can describe it is I have allergic reactions every day to like nothing. It's not like a food allergy, it's not a environmental allergy. For some reason, the antihistamines in my body go insane every day. So I have to take like a million antihistamines to counteract this reaction. And if I miss one, I'll get a few, of the I don't even know what to call it. Like it's a rash, but a rash does not justify what it actually looks like. But I'll get a few of like the welts on like my leg or my arm or whatever, and my roommate or my friends will like be like, "Oh my god, like what is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, that." Honey, you ain't seen nothing yet. She's just peeking through today. She is not even close to her full show that she can give.
No, truly. Um, but
Well, the water.
um, but oh, I should probably explain what Steven Johnson syndrome is to anyone that is new or doesn't know. So Steven Johnson syndrome, toxic epidermal necrosis. You'll see me normally calling it just like SJS10 or like SJS if I'm being lazy. Because it's a lot of letters. It's the alphabet mafia. Um, it is a condition that burns your body from the inside out. And so 95% of my body was burned from the inside out. So I am a burn survivor. And also huge trigger warning to anyone that's like, oh, like I'm gonna like hot girl look this up. It's not the most hot girl thing in the world. It's actually quite the opposite, I fear. I fear it's scary. I fear it's a horror show. And just like a huge trigger warning if you do decide to look up images of it. But I was dying in an ICU. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting to get emotional. Damn it. I was dying in an ICU burn unit when I was 16 years old. And like all the doctors were saying like I wasn't going to survive and all this crazy stuff. They were telling my family and friends to say their goodbyes. And then miraculously I survived. And then they told me, okay, well, like woohoo, like let's kiki you they didn't say let's kiki. This is just me being me. Imagine, oh my god, can you imagine like a doctor comes into an ICU burn unit and they're like congrats, Bessie, you survived. Let's kiki.
Hey.
Pop that damn champagne, Bessie. But no, they were like, okay, so you are going to live, thankfully, but you aren't going to be able to sing, dance, or be able to handle stage lights. Actually, you will never be able to open your eyes ever again. And you are just going to have to figure it out. And I will never forget this because I was like coming off of meds when this was happening. So like I actually do have a recollection of this. I looked at this doctor straight in the eyes and I was like, "Fuck off, watch me." This doctor was like gooped and gagged. He was like, "Okay."
He was like, she's cunty today.
um, I was serving cunt that day. And now, actually, I was pretty recently. I was in a session with Olivia, the same girl that I wrote the song with, and I was telling her, I was like, yeah, like I just feel like I constantly live in a state of fuck you. Like that's just like my whole life. Like it's just like I am constantly saying fuck you to everyone that ever doubted me, and now like I am going to be such a big name that you won't be able to like not see my face. Everywhere you turn, you'll see my face and you'll know. And I will say, the doctor like did low-key have a bit of a point with the eyes. Like, so I do have to wear like these hard nickel size low-key, he ate a little bit there. But I do have to wear these hard nickel-sized prosthetic lenses called Prose lenses in order to be able to open my eyes and essentially function. I cannot open my eyes without them. They are a pain in the ass. It is what it is. And I also use like these Lumify drops. Oh my god, wait, LOL, not it being blurred because of my background. I'm dead.
Censoring you. I'm offended.
I'm not by SJS. But teehee. So yeah, I do have to use these whitening drops, and also I can't produce tears on my own. So I actually have not shed a tear in years. But like I do cry because I am an emotional bitch. But like when I cry now, because my tear ducts got fried from SJS, I just have like a runny nose. And it's like kind of jarring. It's like you don't know me, you just like see me crying, and you're like, why is this person like imitating a seal right now? And I'm like imitating a seal. I'm just crying and I can't have tears. Because God knew I'd be too powerful if he let my
She's
tears.
just too tough, guys. She's just too strong. She doesn't feel things no more. She's just that girl. No one can break her. No one can do it.
I mean, they can low key, but I just won't cry about it. Oh, actually, no, I will, but like people won't think that I am. I had on cue off my resume, off my acting resume, and let me tell you, that was more disheartening than when I was told I was gonna die.
Honestly, that's so valid. Like genuinely, I would like that would piss me off too because that's not easy, you know.
It's
To have
not.
that skill mastered and then be like, "Ah, I literally knew how to do it, guys. I swear."
No, literally. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, so then we are at the next line, hospitalized, fought for my life. A bitch was fighting. It was my whole world turning upside down and flipping it back around. Kind of going off of what I was saying before. I just live in a constant state of fuck you. Like my whole entire world went south, and I literally had to figure out the way to like pick up the pieces because truly, like in those moments, I know like I make a lot of jokes about this, but um, like it is I truly feel like when you're in a situation like life or death, you have the choice to look at it positively or negatively. And I'm about to sound like such a spiritual bitch right now. But I am such a strong believer in like you the energy that you give off is the energy that you receive. And so, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like promoting toxic positivity because that's not what this is at all. But I do think like in between the moments of like horror and being scared, there were a lot of moments where, I was cracking jokes with my mom. I was making the nurses laugh. I like when my friends would visit me in the hospital, like we would watch we would watch movies together. I was squinting, barely. I should okay, but like I was enjoying the time that I was having with my friends and family because I didn't know what was going to be coming next. And like there is such there is truly something to be said about how toxic negative energy can be. And I really do believe that if I had allowed the negative energy to take over, I don't know if I would be here because negative energy can be such it can be someone's detriment, especially
Yeah,
like in an ICU unit.
for
um
sure.
but yeah, off my spiritual shit now. Let's get back to the lyrics. So, um, now we're at the chorus. I wish my body was fine. Wish it felt like it's mine. Pretty self-explanatory. I wish my body was fine.
Yeah.
It sure as hell ain't. And wish it felt like it's mine. Don't want to fight every day to survive. Yeah, shit, man, it's a fight. Nobody sees this shit. I'm invisibly sick. That's this part's probably like one of my favorite lines in the song. Because like when you look at me walking down the street, you wouldn't necessarily think, oh, that person is ill. Because for some reason, like I don't look sick.
Yeah.
Like in a society like the society we live in, it can be a blessing, unfortunately, and it can also be a curse when you are when you are having a flare up and then someone starts saying, well, it can't be that bad because you look fine.
100%.
And it's
100%.
and it's also really, really bad too when you say, "Oh, like I'm sick," and they're like, "Oh, but you don't look sick." Like, what the fuck is sick supposed to look like? Let's have for a second. And,
Exactly.
and so there's just like a lot of emotions and feelings that are brought up with those lines. And I feel like part of the reason why this song went viral is because a lot of people were able to interpret these lines in so many different ways.
Yes, for
Uh,
sure.
and yeah, so again, like this is again, I know I said this at the beginning, but I'm just so grateful for each and every one of y'all for bringing this song to life. I love you guys so much.
Love
But
you.
oh, thanks. But nobody sees the shit. I'm invisibly sick and tired. A bitch tired. That's the explanation there.
Still is. Yeah.
And then all I ever feel is me attacking me, me attacking me.
Yeah.
My body is just like constantly attacking itself, and I'm feeling it, but like, as someone who's chronically ill in a society driven by ableism, I have had to teach myself to cover it up and mask it. Uh,
Yeah.
and to appear normal so that I can be perceived in a better light, which again, a horrible thing that chronic
Yeah.
people have to go through. Like,
Yeah.
but but so it's just like it's just like unpacking one thing after another, and it's crazy shit. So
Entertainment too. Like, there's we love to talk a big game of inclusivity and stuff, but there's still so much to so much progress to be made in that space. And at the end of the day, when people are looking to cast, when a manager is looking for someone to sign, reliability is such a big, big, big prerequisite. And at the end of the day, it's not us being lazy. It's not us being off our game. It's the fact that a life has hit us with a curveball that's going to occasionally cause us to underperform. And unfortunately, there's been instances where both Haley and I have talked about this, where we feel like we can't be honest about our condition out of fear of being out of a job.
I have a I yes, and riffing off of that. I know I've talked about this before on my lives, but as many of y'all know, I went to college for musical theater. And that's how I discovered songwriting, because I went to Boston Conservatory, Berklee College of Music. Berklee bought BOCO. And my minor in songwriting is from Berklee, but like the degree itself is also from Berklee. It is confusing, truly. So like I'll just that's like a long-winded way of me saying like I went to Berklee, but like I majored in musical theater, but like very, very confusing. But you get the drift. But the whole process with applying to musical theater schools is incredibly fucking toxic. Incredibly, incredibly, incredibly toxic. And I had gotten sick when I was 16. So like it was the second semester of my junior year of college. Not junior year of college. LOL. Could you imagine? I'm not smart. No, my junior year of high school. No, I'm not that. I'm not smart enough to be a 16-year-old college junior. 16-year-old high school student. But like it was at the point where I was about to be applying to colleges. And obviously, like, I used this story for like my scholarships and everything, because like, it's for outside scholarships, that's what you use this stuff.
Sure. I have the big belief that if life throws you a curveball like that, you are so allowed to use it in any way that could possibly get you an advantage. Like
that shit.
better get your bag, bestie. Like that's the least life owes you at this point.
When it came to writing my actual college essays, I'm about to get emotional again over this. I was so scared to say that I am an SJS 10 survivor, out of fear that the colleges would see that and they would say, "Oh, well, we can put her aside because there's another little white girl that looks that looks just like her, that can replace her, who doesn't have a chronic illness."
Right.
And so, and what's horrible about that is like, yes, I was so scared about that, and like, I still got into a top 10 musical theater program in the country, a very, very, very hard school to get into. And it's conservatory, so it wasn't based on grades, it was all based on the audition. But at that time, I was very proud of the fact that I was able to appear not sick.
Right.
To appear because I could perform just as well, if not better, than my peers that were able-bodied. And to me, that was an accomplishment. And that was something that years later I realized I needed to unpack, because I realized that was ableism. And like me, the sick girl, had internalized ableism that I needed to figure the fuck out, because what? Like it's so like and also like in the performing arts industry, like what you were saying, like, oh, there's a saying like your body is your job. And that's also like that's a reason why like I was like very, very scared to release this song, but I knew deep down that this song was so special, and like, and it needed to be said, because there weren't any other artists that I could find when I was like sick and dying in the hospital that I could relate to, and I could feel like really understood my story and me, and like I don't know, I just like I needed a reminder in the hospital that I was going to be okay, and I couldn't find that. And that was the most that I ever felt, and like in that moment I was like, shit, I'm going to be the artist that like little 16-year-old me never had. And this song and the way that it has touched so many people has helped me become that artist for so many of you guys, and also for little 16-year-old me. And I feel like she can like be that version of myself can now be at peace because of you guys. So
Right. Maturing is realizing as an artist is realizing that you're like I'm going to say that again for future editing self because this is a good hook for a video. Maturing as an artist is realizing that your deepest vulnerability is your strongest power. Like we all want to shy away from being seen in our most like deepest wounds, but the reality is we know those wounds so well, and there's so many people that experience that as well, that the minute you tap into that is actually when you're at your most powerful, because you're almost reclaiming it, you know? Like when I wrote Healed as I'll Get With You, and whenever I perform that song, that's for reference, it's Haley's song, but we co-wrote it. Sometimes I'll play it at my shows if I can fit it in the set list, because it feels extremely personal to me as well. Is, you know, it gave me the opportunity as your co-writer to go back into that and reclaim the situation that rather than looking at it as something that happened to me, happened for me. And that's not necessarily something everyone needs to do. I think there's a lot of conversations around toxic positivity with that mindset. Me personally, though, I needed that, because reclaiming it and not feeling like a victim anymore, but rather looking at it as, hey, this was awful, but guess what? It brought me these relationships in my life. It brought me this community in my life. And you know what? We can argue that this happened for me instead rather than to me. And I think it doesn't invalidate any of the pain, any of the past trauma I have associated with it, but rather empowers me for the future.
exactly, yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, and to that.
Yes. And
But now we are on to verse 2. And verse 2 also went pretty viral on social media as well. And again, all thanks to y'all. So thank you guys so much for that. I love you guys. So verse 2, I'm strained and drained from chronic pain. This one's just like I know it's like a dark song and all, but like this one's just like a fun line to sing, like strained, drained, chronic pain. Like I like all those A's. I feel like I sound like a fucking robot. I'm like A. Um, but um, but yeah, so I'm starting to drain from chronic pain. Pretty self-explanatory. Pretty, yeah, body aches. Oh God, I hate that I specialize in faking smile so I can just get by. So this line here, I wanted to like riff off of like the body aches, but then I wanted it to be like a new thought in that line, because like I'm a theater girl, and so I'm like, oh, like I need like something else to drive the rest of this line, the rest of the story. Body aches. Oh God, I hate, like that's the way that I wrote it. Like imagine that gasp. That specialized.
Peter enjoyed writing the CP so much.
Yes.
There's so many moments.
That I specialize in faking smile so I can just get by. Kind of like what I was saying before. As someone who has a chronic illness, girly, like we have all had to learn how to mask. So you can into an ableist society. Which leads into the next line. In an ableist world, I look cured, a perfect girl who's never been hurt. So this is a fucked up way of me saying I'm pretty. Wait, no, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that at all. I shouldn't joke like that. But like in all seriousness though, like this is a world built for a world built by ableists for able-bodied people. And that is the foundation of the society that we live in. And I don't necessarily look like I am sick. But like you, if you see me walking down the street, you're not gonna think, oh, that's a little sick girl. Which again, like I said before, really fucked up. But a perfect who's never been hurt. I wrote that line because I like the way it like rolled off the tongue, and you know what? I joked about it before, but like that's just like a fucked up way of me saying I'm pretty. But in an ableist mind, I pass all right. Like I pass. I'm because I am pretty, and it is fucked up, and that's just the way society is. I'm asked to get through life. But I wish, and then we go right back into the chorus and same exact shit. And then we go into the bridge. Da da da.
Everyone, hold on. Get ready. Buckle up.
um,
Okay.
over. It's never over. Because I'm just talking about how the chronic illness is
Chronic part of the chronic illness.
the chronic illness is chronic. Closure. What the hell is closure? Like, cause like you're looking at this shit that's happening. You're like, how do I get closure for this shit? The fuck?
Who passed something like this? No.
This is before Heels I'll Get was written.
Yes.
That was my closure. Forward, have to move forward because you're just like, you have to continue on with life. Yeah. But mourn what's lost and somehow start all over. Like I'm mourning the ghost of myself, which is why my EP was called My Ghost. I'm mourning the ghost of myself, and like that version of myself is dead. She's gone. She has been dead.
Hey, not come to the phone right now.
Why? Because she's dead. And then it repeats, but like with more drama because I jump up the octave and I belt. Hi.
We always say more drama.
More drama. And oh yeah, you bitches thought that I wouldn't be able to sing. By bitches, I'm talking to the doctors that said that I wouldn't be able to sing. You bitches thought I wouldn't be able to sing. Bitch, think again. I'll skrelt. Think again, bitch. And so then we go into the rest of the bridge, which is quite literally just repeating myself over and over. And then we go into the final chorus. And it's more dramatic because there's a beat drop and ad libs. And if there's one thing about me, I love a beat drop and an ad lib and a high belt. And then I think the part that really like solidifies this song and just brings it home is so the final chorus, after the big chorus, I wanted it to end like on a more quiet note. So then I dropped down the octave and I'm just like in the lower part of my register. And it's just like, I cut out a lot of the instruments and it's really just like, and it feels very intimate. And you're just saying again, I wish my body was fine. Wish it felt like it's mine. Don't want to fight every day to survive. Nobody sees the shit. I'm invisibly sick and tired. All I ever feel is me attacking me attacking me. And that's just the way it ends. And yeah, this song is very, very, very special to me. It is the song that introduced me to so many of y'all. I love you guys so much. And what a cool foundation to have as an artist. And a cool like fan foundation. Like this is the song. This really, really, really powerful song is the song that brought me.
Yeah, not a lot of people can say that. A lot of times it's like the songs that artists are like the least proud of that get them somewhere, and to have this be your like first big song is very unique and very special and should be cherished because many artists cannot say that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will say, like, in the entertainment industry in general, I do feel like there is a lack of representation when it comes to immunocompromised and chronically ill and disabled voices and stories. And I think that this song is just a testament, and the whole entire My Ghost EP for that matter, is a testament to the fact that this industry needs more voices that are marginalized like this. Because
look at how many co-writers are on that EP. For a small EP, I think there's 5 of us.
Yes.
And that's, like that goes to show, look how many people we know in the music industry who are immunocompromised or, have a chronic condition. Like we exist. Like this is not an us thing only. This is not niche, like this is a big experience that so many people face that we should treat as an issue that needs to be brought to light like we treat anything else.
Everyone deserves to be able to feel seen and heard through music. Music is a feeling art form, and I will truly never forget the way little 16-year-old me felt when I realized that I couldn't find an artist that was going through what I was going through. And like, you know, it might sound silly when I'm saying this, but like music has always been that escape for me. And like I've always been able I've been a playlist girly through and through my entire life. But like I have always been able to find myself through music and in like my darkest situations feel seen, feel heard, and like be brought back to normal through music. And when I couldn't find myself when I was like dying in that hospital bed, that was the most horrified and scared I felt that entire time, because for the first time I felt truly alone, and I never ever want anyone else to feel that way again. So this is why that I was like, this song has to come out for that, for any other little girl or boy or non-binary person that is in that hospital bed and is like, I don't have anyone that I can look up to and feel like I can get out of this. Like you have me. You have Rini. You have Olivia. You have She Is Jules. You have all of these people that are here and are successful and are telling you that you can do anything that you set your mind to.
Absolutely. And I think that is a wonderful place to land on for this episode. And Haley, what are we calling this beautiful episode that we have here?
This is a fucked up way of me saying I'm pretty.
Serving I'm pretty. Serving oh wait, maybe serving pretty sick.
Serving me, attacking me. Maybe we should just call it that.
Rid of me attacking me. This could get really bad. But yeah, well, we love y'all so much. Thank you guys for caring about the stuff that we do.
Yes.
You can follow Haley
At Haley F. Rosenthal everywhere you have social media.
She Makes It Nice and Easy. I like to make it hard. You can follow me at Rini K Official on Instagram and Snapchat, and Rini K Music on TikTok and YouTube. One day they'll all be the same, just not today.
All right. We love you so much. Goodbye.
Catch y'all in the next 2 weeks.